Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And it is another Friday night. I think the last one was Saturday night when we filmed it. And I had the camera this way, and it should have been this way because it ended up being long form. So I apologize. I said it wouldn't happen again. I am filming on my phone again tonight because it shouldn't be a super long video. Yeah. The Dodge project truck is, not running still. However, our friends over at Rock Auto hooked us up. As by hook us up means I bought, they shipped. Some new fuel tank straps and a new fuel pump sending unit, complete assembly here. I'm a little concerned because the box looked like it was open, so I'm a little bit suspicious on that. So I'm going to check that out. I think Caleb's coming down because we got to get the Dodge in here. I'm not doing that out there on the ground. That is not happening. So when he comes down, we'll pull it back with the tractor and then push it in here, and it has a flat tire and blah, blah, blah. Let's do this. All right, so it does appear to be new, unused. However, of course, I don't have the tank out, so I'm not really familiar with it. Like, what the heck? Like, that's a big hole in your tank. What goes there? I don't think it's the fuel fill hose. But maybe it is the fuel fill from the filler neck. I don't know. And I didn't think it had a return. I did feel that when I was blindly fumbling around, and this here being the primary line. And, let's go grab this truck. Been crazy busy lately, so I got a couple other projects here. This is a customer's rig that we got to get out of here because it's in my way, and that'll be done here next week, hopefully. All right, I got Caleb out here helping me out tonight. A little early for the wife to be out here, and she yelled at me last time saying she was up baking for 48 hours, and I got her without makeup, and she was not real happy with me. So here's the beast. It doesn't smell any less disgusting. Had a party here a week or so ago, and someone was nice enough to throw some cans in the back of this thing. But anyway, I'm going to grab this thing here, pull it back, and push it in. Just as easy as that, right, bud? He won't even look at me. The love I get in this family, it's just overwhelming. I'm overjoyed by it. All right, fire up the old Bobcat. She never lets me down. And we'll give this truck a pull. Smell good in there? Punk kids, take that. Oh, hey, look, it's freight train. Not really. All right, here we go. Oh, man, the bugs are coming out. Yep, come straight back, buddy. Hey, it's got brake lights. Doesn't matter, should I eat your Wheaties? Oh, shit. I forgot to unplug it. Oops, it's unplugged now. All right, we got our tire inflator 2000 here. I'm sure this is gonna work. Phenomenal. All right, check back in about 10 minutes. We'll have some air in the tire. Maybe. We're sitting at about 7.5 pounds. In the meantime, we could just have a chat. Like, we could just talk. Me and Caleb could talk. 8.5 pounds. I'm not going to do this for the next 20 minutes, so be right back. I am a little bit impressed because we're at 70.5 pounds. The battery's still not quick on us, and I didn't think it would even last this long. A little air in the tire made a difference. All right, with the help of Caleb, the Project 2nd Gen is in the shop for the very first time. So I'm going to get this thing on the lift and see what we got to deal with. I know the tank is absolutely full of 7-year-old fuel. 33 or 4 gallon tank. I'm going to use the transmission jack. We're going to strap it to it because I'm not draining that. If it'll run off 7-year-old fuel, then so be it, because it's hard to get rid of gas. All right, going up. See what it looks like with a 5-inch lift. Oh, yeah. That would look killer. She's up. Safety first. The old shake test. I think we're good. Keep going. All right, first time I actually get a good look under here, and she's got a lot of scale, but honestly, that is straight up just from sitting on the grass. So if we can get this thing going like I wanted to, this thing, oh, we got a little antifreeze leak going here too. Guess we'll have to address that. But again, this thing's been sitting. So all in all, yep, this floor and rocker is gone. I actually think the donor truck out there, I can cut this section right out of that truck. So might be all right with that. But this is that big boy tank. Holy God, is that big? That has to come out. And those straps, honestly, actually, they probably would come off now that I see them. We might actually hit that with an impact and see if it'll come off. It doesn't matter. I got new ones, so if it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'll reach up in here and take the, let's see with my phone. I don't know where that big, what is that? Oh, it's part of the cap? I don't even know. Anyway, whatever. Let's do it. All right, you guys help me know what you think of the quality of this phone. Is this the iPhone 16? Using it. It's not even the right size, Scott. You're not even close. All right, let's try this again. Little tiny Milwaukee. It's a Fuel, though. She got it. It's coming down. That's working, dudes. Holy crap. Well, I got new ones anyway, so whatever. I'm going to loosen them. Both. Try to. And not waiting. I was squinting, so we're good. Yeah. All right, I've got pressure on the jack. Yeah, I'll do this by myself, so what could go wrong? But I can't get a strap in here, so I'm gonna have to undo these straps, the tank straps here, and kind of shimmy this thing away from the frame a little bit to get a strap up in there and around to secure it before I go ahead and lower it. Yeah. All right, straps are down. And this one was holding on with a prayer. So yeah, that strap really wasn't doing a thing. So now I'm gonna try to lower this down a little bit and shimmy it without dropping this. I don't know, what's this thing like? 3 times 8, 250 pounds of fuel here? A lot more than me. Check that out. We put our keeper straps to work here. Strap, as in singular and one. And I almost forgot the fuel filler neck. I got them soaking in pentoinol now. I'm gonna go ahead and crack those babies loose. And I think, in theory, because I did get disconnected fuel line electrical, we should be able to start, I'm gonna say lowering this. Because I feel like the word dropping it would be really poor choice of words right now. Considering that thing could probably crush me. Just saying. All right. She's free-ish. Now I gotta like finagle it down. It does have a really good lean to it right now. That's concerning. Well, it's down. Look at this, dudes. Yeah, that was dude. This one probably wasn't far behind. But we're gonna get them out of here because I'm gonna get this. Yeah, I'm gonna get that out of there in a minute. But yeah, so there's this rubber thing up top here. That's what I was wondering what went in there. And that's just this lock ring, and the whole thing comes out. We put the other one in and put it back together. It's easy, right? Simple. Have you ever had one of these or seen one of these, like a detailer's blowgun? It works great. I use them because we do oil undercoating. And I use this to knock all the rust and the loose stuff off the frame, and it works like phenomenal. Let me see this, but it's blown everywhere now. Like, literally everywhere. Wouldn't be right if we didn't get a visit from a chicken. It's late. You should be going to bed, girl. Come on. All right, excuse me. I'm trying to do something. So it looks like we can reuse this, the purge, the vent, so to speak, into this, I'm guessing. But I did notice this had a filter on the bottom, and it clips on to the side around the base there. This being a cheaper version, there is no filter. So I'm gonna guess, hope that in that tank, that this pump has an filter built into it. I hope. I really hope, but this filter's no way it's going on because it has little tabs built on this thing, so completely different. All right, so I got it out. Got the lock ring swapped over, that swapped over, the little fuel lock ring on there. So I think a little bit of lube on this thing, and it's good to slide it in there. However, I'm gonna take a peek inside the tank with a flashlight first to see what we see. It smells because it's old gas, but it's not as bad as I expected. All right, you know I said I was gonna look in the tank? Yeah, look, it's like to the brim full. So yeah, it's just gonna be an in you go type of situation tonight. And even this, don't drop it, Scott. Oh, sorry. It's hard to do by yourself, all right? Sink. Oh yeah. Down you go, girl. Be good, be good. Okay. You know how I said it was like extremely full? I guess I could have like taken a couple gallons out of this thing. Cause it's coming out of the neck as I'm shaking and moving this thing around. Spilled a little on the floor and a big old sploosh on my leg, and it's a little irritated. So I'm gonna go change my pants. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Wardrobe change. I did get this tightened down. Give the old tippy tap with the chisel, but I'm concerned. Of course, the gas is running out of here. That clamp has got nothing left of life to it, and it's a good time to change it now. Well, I can kind of get to them, so it would make sense to, I guess, change those. Oh God, I don't want to get gas in me again. It smells. All right, there's no getting that thing off, so gone. All right, some new clampy doos on there. We're all tightened down there. Basically, I gotta try to swing this thing over and up and not take a gas bath again. I don't know if I should put the hangers in before or after. Clearly, I'm struggling getting this one out. It shouldn't be that hard. There we go. This one wasn't bad. Well, wasn't good either. I think I'm gonna risk it and put the those in after. Probably gotta pull out ew, and blow this dirt and crap out of here now that I just found it. Yeah, that's gross. Probably gotta look at the fuel line too. Alright. There's a lot of dirt up here. I'm gonna just vacuum it out instead of using my blow gun and blowing it out. That would be nasty. Holy man, there's a lot of dirt up there. All right, the reality of it is, it was late last night. My buddy came over. I had been working all day long, so that's when I get to work on our projects here, is after hours, after we're doing paying jobs and customer stuff. So it was really late. I called it a night. It's the next morning now. It's actually pouring right now. But like I said, we got the hose clamps replaced. I've got the tank ready to go back in. The sending unit, fuel pump, that's all in. I hope this thing works. We sucked the dirt out of the frame. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing spun. Try not to take a gas bath first thing this morning. We got a new tank strap on here. And hopefully get this thing set in place today and the truck started. I mean, in all reality, for doing this by myself with no extra set of hands with a completely full 33-gallon tank, it's going quite well with this transmission jack, which does have a peculiar lean to it. But the hard part is getting these rubber hoses up and over the frame while jacking this off. That was a bad choice of words there. While jacking this thing up, I'm not even gonna edit that out because it is what it is. It's hilarious. So let me finish jacking this up and then get back to you. All right, it's getting close now. So it was close enough where I can get this. I should actually go test this now, but anyway, you know I won't do that. So I got the electrical connector connected, the vent connected. The fuel line's the only other connection, but I'm a little ways off from getting that one on there, but it's close. And then they'll be all connected. Finish pushing this in place. Put the strap on there and we're good. All right, I'm close. I think just because where the tank sets into the frame right here, it's keyed in. I'm gonna be able to take the strap off, so this thing can't fall down unless I was to lower it. Because, well, quite frankly, you can't get to the strap once you get it all the way up there. So get the strap off and then get it a little bit closer, and I can get that rear strap in on the back, like the permanent strap, make our fuel line connection. All right, so I got it. The tank is up, the straps are on. I don't have them tightened all the way down, clearly, but they're in. I did it myself. And now I can lower this down. Yeah, I can do that. Then I've got the clearly rotate these fuel tubes, because I guess when I put them back on, that one's okay. This one's got to be rotated for sure. And then there's one fuel line connection. All right, so straps are tight. Filler neck is on. I can't seem to get the fuel line back on. So I don't even know if you, actually, I can see up there with my phone better than not. The fuel line is right, yeah. Okay, anyway, it's right here. And the connection's right there. And it's fighting me, because partially I can't see what I'm doing. But the phone helps. All right, I'm sweating a little bit. It's humid. In theory, the electrical connection's connected, the fuel tank's hung, the fuel line's hung, the vent is on. In theory, that pump should work, and we get fuel to the engine. So I think that's the next thing would be to lower it, go through a few key cycles and see if we're getting fuel up at the engine again. Again, we never had, so hopefully now. All right, I think there's enough charge in our Never Start battery. I disconnected the fuel line off the rail. I'm gonna go ahead and try to key cycle this and start it, I guess. I could leave you here. I'm gonna do that, hold on. Okay, so yeah, I just have to go start this thing. Still no fuel. I don't hear the fuel pump running. I just tested the relay again. I'm getting power to the relay. I'm getting power leaving the relay. However, I'm not hearing the fuel pump and I'm not getting fuel. So there's something else going on, which is a little aggravating because maybe I didn't need to drop the tank and change the fuel pump. Just saying. It's there now. So now I need to go back to the fuel pump and see if we're getting power on the right side and ground where it should be ground. I can't do that because, well, I need another set of hands, so I'm waiting for my son to get out of bed and then come help me. All right, two things. I took out the old power probe and went directly to the power terminal, which is all the way on the right side of the pump, and then ground. So we may have a ground issue, and I hit the button. The pump works. However, if you look there, we were disrupting the steel line where it connects to the fitting off and on last night. Clearly, I ruptured a fuel line, so now I have to order or Band-Aid that fuel line. I'm probably going to see if I can just get the right one with the right connections on the end of it, because that sucks. But is what it is. I'm going to get that fuel line figured out. And when we turn power on with the power probe, the pump works, the system works, we're getting fuel. The truck is not telling it to turn on, so we still got to figure that out. It's either a bad ground, which that'll be the next thing I try, and I think that's probably what it is. The ground itself's bad someplace, and we could just tap in a new ground. Or it's the power supply to the pump itself, and I got to wait for my son for that, so yeah. All right, update. All right, so in between powder coating, I've been jumping back and forth with this. As you know, I put power to it with the power probe. It worked. However, when I checked the ground side, which is the left side of the terminal, it was in the megohms. It should have been very close to 0, and we didn't have that. So, yeah, still leaking. I ran a secondary ground in the harness, tapped it into the harness to the chassis of the truck, and just clipped it there for now to verify we got a ground issue. Plugged it back in the fuel pump, cranked it over. We got fuel. It's working. All right, so update, it's been a few days now. I went ahead and ordered basically a universal fuel line kit for fuel injection systems. This is an 8mm 5/16 based on what I measured on the truck itself. However, the fittings they sent me, some are mismatched and they're not even right. So that made it even more of a challenge. The second thing is I'm having doubts that the sending unit itself with the pump and the whole deal had a filter system on it. I didn't visually see one, so it might have been internal. It's supposed to have been complete, but I'm a little bit doubtful on that. So I also went ahead and bought basically a universal fuel filter for the same size fuel line. However, the fittings they sent me, and now I've opened it and stuff so I can't return it, are too sloppy and don't fit on there well. So it will fit in one end of the OEM line up here by the firewall. The other end, I'm going to just basically take the plastic fuel line, slide it over this like you would on the fittings that have like a rib on them. And I don't know if you've ever seen that done. I don't have the tool to do it. However, with a brake flaring tool, you can go ahead and push these on. I don't want to say with ease because it's still a lot of work, but you can do it. And that's how I do it. I'll show you that. But anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of a bubble flare, a small bubble flare on the end of this one so we can slide the black line. Because I don't have the fitting right now. I want to get this thing running because I'm getting aggravated with this fuel line. And we'll change that, cut it back at another time and put the fitting on that belongs on this and change the fuel filter out, whatever. Anyway, I say that side. The black side, because that's the in, that's the side we're going to bubble flare. So this is the side that's going to connect onto the sending unit itself. I've already put that one on there. We just got to route that in behind the tank and then along the truck frame up to the filter, into the filter, out of the filter, back into the factory flex line, and on up to the truck. And I think we'll have it at that point. I think. Okay? All right. First things first under here. Basically, it's going to take what's left of this old fuel line. I already took the screw out of the bracket here. And it's disconnected here. Came apart actually pretty good. This is where the fuel filter will go right into this, to this piece right there. And the plastic line will end right there. At least that's the hopes of doing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this back, rip it out, and then run our plastic line. I already have the fitting made for the sending unit end. We'll snake it along this frame rail, probably beyond the tank, pick it up and bring it back into the tank itself. And yeah. All right, you know how I was talking about using the, if you don't have the tool for the plastic brake line and you want to slide it onto a fitting or whatever you got there, get yourself a cheap flaring tool like so. If you hold that line, like this is 5/16, and you literally hold that line, so there's a stub sticking up like this. So what this is doing is obviously holding the line. It's allowing it to be held tight. I'm not going to cinch it right down, but so because otherwise, if you try to do that by hand, you just kink the hose over. And once you kink this hose, it's no good. But with this thing, you can grab this thing really tight and really work that fitting into there without damaging the line itself. It works pretty slick, but if you were really smart, you just have the tool. I don't have it. All right, check that out. Found the bad spot. Whew. All right, in the process of ripping the old fuel line out, I also basically destroyed the vent line, which is short and just goes to the carpet canister right up over here. So I'll run a new vent line, which isn't a big deal. It doesn't have a return line. So let me get this ring run through the frame. All right, that was easy. Use my trusty copper wire there as a snake. Got it all the way out to this end here. Just gonna push it up through and snap it onto the sending unit. We'll finish running the line actually through the connector here. So it'll look halfway factory. In here, and then we'll do that little flare thing into the fuel filter right here and we'll have fuel. And then just connect the vent line. All right, another thing about this plastic tubing fuel line, it kinks ridiculously easy. No, I didn't kink it. But don't cut it with like side cutters. Get yourself some hose or tubing cutters and cut it with that. It makes a nice square, even cut. Yeah, trust me. Ask me how I know, right? All right, don't judge. But we've got the connection made, fuel line. Temporary fitting. I've got a 5/16 or 8mm push connect fitting coming. So until then, I've left the line long. So with that being said, I've got a little whoop-de-whoop so it's not all groomed out. So easy, okay? It will be fixed. I just need to get this thing started. All right, I'm gonna run a fuel line. No. All right, I'm gonna run a vent line. All right, so disconnected it at the fuel pump line here, and clearly it's pumping fuel. Yeah. All right, since there's so much fuel in the ground, we know it's pumping. I'm gonna connect it back up to the fuel rail and set this baby right here. And I'm so confident it's gonna start, I even opened the door. So what does that tell you? There you go, let's try it. No fires, please. Oh, getting the fuel. Fuel, we got fuel, we got running. We got oil pressure. We don't have voltage. And the alternator is seized. So that was us smoking the belt. But it did run. This thing did run. All right, a little persuasion, a little lube. The alternator's free again. Engine doesn't sound really healthy, honestly. Actually, not bad. So stay tuned for the next episode. We'll leave it right here. It runs. We got to find out why it's not shifting. Yeah, hopefully that's not I don't want to pull the transmission, but I mean, it is what it is. We have to. And then go from there. And I want this thing to work. Like, I really want it to work, but I'm finding more and more wrong. So at some point, you're like, you know what? It's just not worth it. But it runs. And it sounds knocky, but it could be the clutch because the thing's not shifting. So with that being said, I think it'd be a good spot to end this episode. You know, that's the clutch. Yeah, let's end this episode right here. Hit the like and subscribe. I got to dig into the shifting issue and figure out what's going on with that. That'll be on the next episode. Take care, guys. Oh, and hey, no leaks.